Hi there, let's talk about Army of the Dead on Netflix by Zack Snyder. Army of the Dead is the long-anticipated film from Zack Snyder. Most recently talked about because of the Snyder Cut release of the Justice League movie. But you shouldn't forget that he also previously started his career effectively with a Dawn of the Dead remake movie that was well regarded, well put together, and I found very enjoyable. Army of the Dead, unfortunately, isn't that enjoyable, but most importantly, it isn't that fun. This kind of movie, it's about a heist going on in Las Vegas before it gets blown up to get rid of the zombies. Should be fun, and I just found that it wasn't. There's a few main issues with it that I'll just sort of briefly go over. I've just got it written down here for me. One is Bokeh. Zack Snyder was the cinematographer on this, as well as the director, and maybe he should have just got a cinematographer to sort of keep him in check. It is filled with the most annoying bokeh all the way through it. Bokeh being when you have someone in a shallow depth of field, so you have being focus and in the background totally blurred out, like totally blurred out. It's fine for the odd shot here and there to emphasize something or get an effect over, but the entire film is essentially filmed with this bokeh effect, and it gets really wearing on you. And also, it's like he's left the camera on autofocus. Sometimes you'll see in videos like mine, just on YouTube, that if I've got autofocus on and it will hunt for focus, so sometimes I'll go out of focus and then the background will get in focus, and back and forth. It feels like he's left the camera on autofocus. It's distracting, it's annoying, it didn't need to be done all the way through the film. Next one is that it's not actually got that much action in it. It's got a very front-loaded action sequence where you see a sort of war against the zombies as they take over Las Vegas. Then there's a big patch where nothing much happens, where he's sort of recruiting people, and then there's the odd small action scene. And I do mean there's small action scenes. There's lots of blokes running across like their Las Vegas set, but really you've got a fight in a sort of warehouse costume area, back passage of a casino where they're sort of people playing a statue games and they've got to try and not wake up the zombies. You've got a fight in the casino where you've seen Dave Bautista running along sort of gambling tables, headshotting everyone. There's just the odd little one here or there dotted in. There's no other big action sequences. I think they should have put that big war scene in the sort of last third of the film, and then you would have had something really big to go up. And also they ruined that action scene by putting some sort of Las Vegas-y show tune over the top of it, which just sort of, whilst a funny joke, it wears thin pretty quick. The other thing I got on my list is dance class zombies. The zombies in Dawn of the Dead were violent, aggressive, feral things that were scary. These zombies, whilst they've evolved slightly, and they say about that in the film, they just come across as people in a Amdram group, or people who are all, I can imagine they would say, we hired dancers for the zombies because of the way they move their bodies, they've got so much better control. But they all look like they're trying too hard. There's lots of people going, zombie, I'm a zombie. It's just a bit of shit, really. There's a scene where one of the zombies holds something aloft and they're all sort of worshipping this king zombie, and it just looks like it's on a stage show. The characters get no real development. I think Zack Snyder wrote the IMDb trivia because there's two characters, the safecracker and, well, the black character, because they're that 2D. It says they're an iconic comedy duo, and it's like, they're not. They really aren't an iconic duo of any sort whatsoever. They're two actors who have very little screen time and have some scenes together. They are not an iconic duo, but I think they want it to be. And you just don't get the development with the characters. The other one's got an unhappy ending. The ending feels cliche. Me and my wife were watching it, and we both said, "Oh, he's going to die then, isn't he?" And he does. And you go, oh, "There we are then. I knew that was going to happen." It's just cliche. And also they have a bloke who comes out of a nuclear explosion because he's hidden in a safe while everything's still on fire, and he doesn't expect to be irradiated and die. Even though something else happens to him, you just think, well, he's dead anyway in a week because he's going to have fucking radiation poisoning. And it's not really a heist movie. They make out that it's going to be a heist movie, but there's very little heisting in it. The sort of getting the gang together bit is humourless and dull. The heist itself has a sort of little Indiana Jones inspired trap sequence that they don't really make enough of, and then the safe cracking is just over in the blink of an eye. And then they've tried to cram too many other plots in. They've tried to cram in the military being up to something. They've tried to cram in this weird hostage plot, why zombies would keep hostages. It's never really explained in the movie. It's only there so a character can come along in order to try and rescue someone and create issues in the plot for the characters. It just doesn't feel right. Oh, and also, I normally like Superman's moustache. As soon as you knew that Henry Cavill had his moustache CGI'd out on Justice League, you would look for it and you couldn't not see it. Knowing that Tig Notaro was green screened into basically all the movie, you now look for every shot that she's in and you can go, yeah, that's clearly been shot like on her own, because there's lots of shots with Dave Bautista and someone are talking to her and it just cuts to go, yeah, or she's sort of like a little bit sort of blurry, or everyone else is blurred out and she's in focus, and you go, I understand why they did it. It's not as bad as Superman's moustache, but you can't help but try and spot putting them in, and it's just the way it is. You know, I appreciate there's reasons for that. Look, it's a film. I watched it on Netflix on a Friday. Me and my wife thought we were in the right frame of mind. We had some drinks. We'd had a nice day out. And we thought, oh, we'll put this on Friday night. It was okay. It was 2.5 hours bloody long, and that's the problem with it. It's not 2.5 hours worth of entertainment at all. If it was an hour and 40, hour and 30, and they cut out a lot of the sort of dullness in it, maybe it'd be alright. Or if they upped the action quota and got some more budget for it, then it would justify the 2.5 hour length. But there's just not enough substance to it. So it's not a terrible movie, it's just, you could rather watch Dawn of the Dead by Zack Snyder and have a better time, I think, or you could watch any other sort of B-movie zombie film for an hour and a half. I mean, Rec 2, the American version, isn't a great film, but at least it knows what it is and it gets the job done. It's people trapped in an airport and there's zombies after them, and it's got just as two-dimensional characters, but it's shorter and just got fun. Oh, and the other thing is this, Dave Bautista's aiming ability seems to go all over the shop. 1 minute he is headshotting zombies left, right and centre, and then next minute he's got the king zombie running at him point blank, maybe 10 metres away, and he can't hit him because the plot says he can't hit him. Simple as that. But there we go. This has been a bit of a long review, I know, but I don't know. It's a kind of film that I just want to talk about. Let me know what you think about it. Please feel free to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.